Assalamu alaikum, I'm Aisha and you're watching Samaa News. Here are today's headlines.
European leaders have sharply criticised President Donald Trump's plan to impose tariffs on 8 allies over his Greenland takeover proposal. Trump announced a 10% tariff on goods from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, and Finland, starting 1st February, warning it could rise to 25% until a deal on Greenland is reached. He called Greenland strategically vital for US security, citing missile early warning systems and Arctic monitoring. European leaders condemned the move. French President Emmanuel Macron called it unacceptable. UK PM Keir Starmer said it was completely wrong. And EU President Ursula von der Leyen said it undermines sovereignty and damages transatlantic ties.
The Netherlands Foreign Minister has sharply criticised US President Donald Trump's threat to impose tariffs on European allies over Greenland, calling it blackmail. David van Veel said such pressure would not help NATO, Europe, or Greenland itself, and warned it could damage alliances rather than strengthen them. President Donald Trump has vowed to impose escalating tariffs on 8 European nations in a bid to pressure them over Greenland. In a post on Truth Social, Trump said the United States would introduce an additional 10% import tariff from February 1st on goods from Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the Netherlands, Finland, and Britain. The move intensifies a growing dispute over Greenland, as President Trump insists the United States must be allowed to buy the Danish territory, already the focus of diplomatic tensions with European allies. Jordan's foreign ministry says King Abdullah has received an invitation from US President Donald Trump to join the so-called Board of Peace for Gaza. The ministry said the invitation is under review as part of Jordan's internal legal procedures. The proposed board would oversee the temporary governance of Gaza, which has been under a fragile ceasefire since October. The Pentagon has placed around 1,500 active-duty US troops on prepare-to-deploy orders amid protests in Minnesota linked to the government's deportation drive. US media reports that the move is a precaution in case violence escalates, though officials say it is unclear whether the troops will actually be deployed. 2 people have been killed and dozens injured in a mass Russian drone attack on Ukraine overnight, President Volodymyr Zelensky said. In a statement on social media, Zelensky said more than 200 drones were used in strikes across multiple regions, including Sumy, Kharkiv, Dnipro, Zaporizhia, Khmelnytsky, and Odessa. Protesters in Denmark and Greenland have rallied against US President Donald Trump's demand that the Arctic island be ceded to the United States, calling for Greenland to determine its own future. President Trump says Greenland is vital to US security because of its strategic location and mineral resources, and has not ruled out the use of force. European countries have sent military personnel to Greenland this week at Denmark's request, amid rising tensions. The US administration has sent a draft charter for President Donald Trump's proposed Gaza Peace Board to around 60 countries. According to the document, countries seeking membership beyond 3 years would be required to contribute $1 billion. Membership terms would be limited to 3 years, with renewals subject to approval by the board's chairman.
Indonesian rescuers discover debris from a missing ATR 42500 conducting fisheries surveillance near Mount Bulusarong, South Sulawesi. The plane, carrying 8 crew members and 3 ministry staff, lost contact Saturday en route from Yogyakarta to Makassar. Wreckage, including a plane window, fuselage parts and tail, was spotted Sunday morning, though fog, strong winds, and steep terrain are hampering recovery. Over 1,200 personnel, helicopters, drones, and ground teams are involved in the operation. Data indicates the plane rapidly lost altitude about 20 kilometers northeast of Makassar Airport. Investigation into the cause is ongoing. US President Donald Trump unveiled plans for a Board of Peace to involve world leaders in resolving global conflicts, with him as inaugural chairman. Initial invitations went to leaders including Erdogan, Abdel Fattah el-Sisi, Ursula von der Leyen, and others. A report suggested nations would need to pay $1 billion to join, but the White House denied this, calling it misleading. Membership will be offered to countries showing a commitment to peace and security. The board will focus on the Middle East, especially Gaza, overseeing governance, reconstruction, and investment through a technocratic committee, the National Committee for the Administration of Gaza, NCAG.
Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has accused US President Donald Trump of inciting weeks of deadly protests in Iran. Khamenei said Washington bears responsibility for the unrest, which rights groups claim has killed more than 3,000 people. Iranian state media quoted Khamenei as calling the US president criminally responsible for the casualties and damage suffered by the Iranian nation. Opposition leader Maria Corina Machado has said that she is confident that the remnants of what she called Venezuela's criminal regime would eventually be dismantled and there would be an orderly transition to free elections, but cautioned that the road ahead would be difficult and complex. Machado branded Venezuela's new leader a communist and said Rodriguez is afraid of Trump and holds an unsustainable position as head of a system that is repressive but does not include the military. That's all for now. For more updates, visit www.samaa.tv. Thank you for watching Samaa News.